In the quaint town of Briar Glen, nestled at the edge of the sprawling Thistlewood forest, lived a young boy named Oliver. At 8 years old, Oliver was a curious and imaginative child, often wandering into the forest despite his mother's warnings about the dangers lurking within. One autumn day, as the leaves turned golden and the air grew crisp, Oliver ventured deeper into Thistlewood than he ever had before. There, hidden among the ancient oaks and whispering pines, he encountered a strange and malevolent tree gnome named Gnarlroot. Oliver was chasing a butterfly when he stumbled upon a small, hollowed-out tree stump. From within the shadows of the stump emerged Gnarlroot, a gnarled and twisted figure no taller than Oliver's knee. His skin was rough and bark-like, his eyes gleamed with a sinister green light, and his smile revealed sharp, needle-like teeth. "Hello, young one," Gnarlroot said, his voice a raspy whisper that seemed to echo through the forest. "What brings you to my domain?" Oliver, taken aback but intrigued by the strange creature, replied, "I'm just exploring." "Who are you?" "I am Gnarlroot, guardian of Thistlewood. It's been ages since I've had a visitor. Would you like to be my friend?" The lonely boy was captivated by the idea of having a friend, especially one as magical as Gnarlroot. He nodded eagerly, and Gnarlroot's grin widened. "Wonderful. Friends share secrets, and I have many to share with you," the gnome said. "But first, there are rules. You must not tell anyone about me. Do you promise?" Oliver agreed, and thus began his twisted friendship with Gnarlroot. Over the following weeks, Oliver visited Gnarlroot daily. The gnome shared tales of the forest, teaching Oliver about the plants and animals. But there was a darker side to Gnarlroot's lessons. He spoke of the power he wielded, of the mischief and chaos he could cause. Slowly, he began to plant seeds of malevolence in Oliver's young mind. "Humans have forgotten the old ways," Gnarlroot would say. "They need to be reminded of the forest's power. We can make them remember." Oliver, enthralled by Gnarlroot's stories and eager to please his new friend, listened intently. He was taught small tricks at first, how to create illusions and cause minor inconveniences for the townsfolk. Gnarlroot's influence grew stronger, and soon, the tricks became more malicious. Oliver's neighbor, Mr. Thompson, was a gruff old man who often scolded the children in the neighborhood for making too much noise. He was a perfect target for Gnarlroot's schemes. "Mr. Thompson doesn't respect the forest," Gnarlroot told Oliver one day. "He cuts down trees and scares away the animals. We must teach him a lesson." Under Gnarlroot's guidance, Oliver began his campaign of terror. It started with small pranks, scratching noises at Mr. Thompson's windows at night, his garden tools going missing, and strange symbols appearing on his front door. Mr. Thompson grew increasingly paranoid and irritable, much to Gnarlroot's delight. Gnarlroot's influence over Oliver deepened, and the pranks escalated. The gnome taught Oliver how to control the animals of the forest, sending raccoons to raid Mr. Thompson's garbage and deer to trample his garden. The old man's frustration turned to fear as the incidents became more menacing. One night, under Gnarlroot's command, Oliver sneaked into Mr. Thompson's backyard and painted eerie, glowing runes on the walls of his house. The runes glowed faintly in the dark, casting an otherworldly light that sent shivers down the spines of anyone who saw them. Mr. Thompson, now convinced that he was cursed, sought help from the townsfolk. But no one believed his wild stories of glowing symbols and vengeful forest spirits. He became a recluse, rarely leaving his house, and his health began to deteriorate. As the months passed, Oliver's behavior became increasingly erratic. His parents noticed a change in their once sweet and curious son. He became secretive, often disappearing into the forest for hours. Concerned, they forbade him from going to Thistlewood, but Oliver defied them, drawn to Gnarlroot's malevolent presence. One evening, Oliver's mother decided to follow him. She trailed him through the forest, her heart heavy with worry. She watched in horror as her son conversed with the twisted gnome, who radiated a dark, foreboding energy. Determined to break the gnome's hold over her son, she confronted Gnarlroot. "Leave my son alone," she demanded, her voice trembling with fear and anger. Gnarlroot's eyes glowed with malice. "Your son came to me willingly. He is mine now. But Oliver's mother stood her ground. He is just a child. You have no right to corrupt him. Gnarlroot sneered. Very well. If you can make him leave of his own will, I will release him. Oliver's mother pleaded with him to come home, tears streaming down her face. Oliver, please, come back to us. This creature is evil. Can't you see what he's doing to you? But Oliver, under Gnarlroot's spell, shook his head. No, Mom. Gnarlroot is my friend. He's taught me so much. Desperate, his mother took his hand and looked into his eyes. Oliver, remember who you are. Remember the love we have for you. This gnome is using you for his own purposes. For a moment, Oliver hesitated. The warmth of his mother's touch and the sincerity in her voice sparked a memory of the boy he once was. But Gnarlroot's influence was strong, and the gnome's eyes burned with an intense green light, reinforcing his control over Oliver. Gnarlroot hissed, "You cannot take him from me. He is mine." Summoning her courage, Oliver's mother reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, polished stone, a family heirloom believed to have protective powers. She held it aloft, and it glowed with a pure, white light that pierced the darkness surrounding Gnarlroot. The gnome recoiled, his power weakened by the stone's light. No! This cannot be! Oliver, seeing Gnarlroot's reaction, realized the truth. The gnome's power was rooted in deception and manipulation. With a newfound clarity, he stepped away from Gnarlroot and clung to his mother. "You have no power over me," Oliver declared, his voice steady. Gnarlroot shrieked, a sound that echoed through the forest, and then he vanished into the shadows, his form dissolving like mist in the morning sun. Oliver's mother hugged him tightly, tears of relief streaming down her face. "Let's go home, Oliver." In the days that followed, Oliver slowly returned to his old self. He confessed to his parents about the things he had done under Gnarlroot's influence, and they, along with the townsfolk, worked to undo the damage. Mr. Thompson, though shaken, began to recover with the support of the community. Oliver visited him, apologizing for his actions. The old man, seeing the sincerity in the boy's eyes, forgave him. Thistlewood Forest, once a place of enchantment and danger, now held no allure for Oliver. He stayed clear of its depths, understanding the true nature of the gnome who had tried to corrupt him. The legend of Gnarlroot faded into Briar Glen's history, a cautionary tale about the dangers of venturing too deep into the unknown and the importance of staying true to oneself. Oliver grew up with a newfound appreciation for his family and community, grateful for their unwavering love and support. Years later, as an adult, Oliver would often tell the story of the malevolent tree gnome to the children of Briar Glen, warning them to respect the forest and to be wary of those who would lead them astray. The tale of Gnarlroot became a lesson in resilience and the power of love to overcome even the darkest of influences.